Hi guys, welcome to Behind the Set List. Today I'm joined with the amazing Dan from Since 2000. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, thanks. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. So you're about 10 days away from the release of your new EP. How are you feeling for it to finally be coming out?
Oh, a lot of things. It feels, a lot of like musicians say this, but it's you're working on these things for so long, and you hit a point where you feel like it's never going to come out because it
Yeah.
just takes so long, and it
Mm.
can be quite a painstaking process getting everything together, and there's so much to do. But no, we're all really excited to finally have the full project out. It's we've been working on it. I think from kind of the beginning for like going on a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're absolutely buzzing to get it out there, and people seem to be really enjoying kind of the singles that we've released from it so far.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
in my opinion, we're kind of saving some of the best stuff till
Yeah, I love
last.
that.
So I'm
Mhm.
excited to kind of
That's always
hear
the best
people's
with
reaction to
projects.
that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah, for
ask like
sure.
how long it was kind of in the works for, but when did you know it was kind of ready to finally release?
Like when we're kind of in the middle of working on it and we're kind of getting different songs, like different songs are starting to come together. It's kind of a case of like building up a bit of a head of steam, and you start to once you get the sort of main body of like the four or five songs, it's kind of realizing like what else is kind of missing. And for us, some of the last things that came together were we kind of realized that like, oh, this could really do with like a really cool intro track to like really set the tone and the scene for the record musically and thematically.
Mhm.
And likewise with kind of a closer, because we felt like um, we were kind of also missing like just a really kind of impactful kind of finale for the project. So that's kind of where it gets to, where it's like you feel like you've got the main songs, and then it was a case of like, how do we kind of tie it all together?
Mhm.
But it came together pretty naturally in terms of the songs. I mean, the songs kind of came together as they do, and then it's just a case of like you kind of also do have to give yourself a bit of a deadline, because otherwise you're going to end up just working on stuff forever. So we gave ourselves like a hard deadline of like by the end of last year, we were like, it has to be finished.
Yeah.
So that kind of like rushes us to kind of make sure that we
Mhm.
get everything done. And there's that saying of like, music's never finished, it's abandoned. So
Yeah.
like it gets to that point and you're like, okay, it's done. Like
Mhm.
it is what it is.
Yeah. Is a continuation of your 2024 release. So what made you want to continue that instead of doing something completely new?
So the initial idea was to actually have these two projects be an album. That's
Mhm.
kind of how like the initial idea for it. But what ended up happening was because I was like, we were writing a lot of stuff that fit into kind of two very different styles. There was stuff that was kind of leaning much more on the kind of pop spectrum, like more kind of alternative pop, alternative rock, and it had a much kind of brighter tone. And then we were also writing kind of this much heavier, kind of darker, more metal adjacent stuff.
Mhm.
And it kind of just once we kind of had enough of those songs on each side, it kind of made more sense to be like, let's split this up because thematically overall, it's kind of they kind of part of the same kind of story. It's just kind of more of a continuation. So it just made more sense to kind of let's separate those two into two different projects, just to make each of those projects as cohesive as possible and make it more kind of impactful on both sides.
Yeah, for sure. And it kind of gives each project a moment to like stand out, like each track as well kind of has its own moment if it's a bit shorter. And I was gonna like mention all the different genres you pull into your music. You've got a lot of electronic moments, pop moments, and a lot of heavy stuff, especially recently. So who or what inspires this?
Probably my just restlessness. I think with as with like most people at this point, or at least like anyone kind of from our generation, at least who kind of grew up on the internet, like no one listens to one style of music anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
Everyone grows up. There's no, I mean, it's like back in the day, you'd be limited as to what kind of music you listen to based on like your social circle. Like radio stations would only play like one style of music. So you had to like it would be much harder to like step outside of your world or your scene to find other things to listen to. And there'd be so much cool stuff that you just have no idea about. Now with the internet and Spotify and all the streaming platforms, you just have access to everything instantly.
Yeah.
So you just grow up absorbing all of it. And as you know, as a creative of any kind, you're influenced by what you listen to and what you consume. So I think it's a case of, and some of our favorite bands, even like from our world, like the rock and metal world, were already artists that were kind of genre bending and incorporating lots of different styles and to kind of make something that felt fresh. And I guess we're kind of just continuing that and trying to do it in our own way and trying to put our own spin on it.
Yeah. And it also means there's kind of something for everyone in your music and you're not like restricted to one thing, which I like. And one of the new songs you've released recently is a collab with Low Rays, which love it. Did
Thanks.
you write this song with them in mind? Or did they kind of come into play like as you were writing it?
Kind of. So I've known of the Low Rays guys for quite a few years, and absolutely love their stuff. I went to see them live for the first time, and I was just blown away by their live show. I don't know if you've seen them play, but
No, I
they're
haven't.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, basically it was something that was always in the back of my mind because we also kind of started becoming friends, and we thought like in the back of my head it was kind of like it would be really cool for us to do something together at some point. And one of the things that I kind of wanted to do with this project is to kind of open it up into some features. Um, and with Hallelujah, we were kind of like writing. I think it was quite early on, to be honest. It was a case of kind of the song hadn't even been finished, and I was already kind of thinking. I think like Laura, who's the singer in Low Rays, I think she'd sound really, really good on this because it's also there's definitely a bit of crossover stylistically with what we
Yeah,
do
for
and what
sure.
they do.
Mhm.
So it just felt like a really kind of cool pairing that would just work really well. And yeah, luckily she was down to do it and she really
Yeah.
liked the song.
Yeah, and you've performed it live already together, haven't you, in Glasgow, I think, recently. How was the crowd reaction to it when you performed it live?
We were kind of all saying, and we've said since that show, like Hallelujah, playing Hallelujah was like the highlight of the show,
Yeah,
both
nice.
in terms of like audience reaction. It
Mhm.
was already we were already feeling like really good about it because it just in the room when we were practicing it, it just felt really
Yeah.
good. Like the energy just translates really well.
Hmm.
Sometimes you never know with some songs, like you can write something and you can think like because we're not a band that like jams. We don't like write stuff in the jam room. We write like in a studio at a computer sort of thing. So like sometimes you can take stuff into the room and like it's like like maybe this isn't like coming across as well as we'd have thought or whatever.
Hmm.
But some songs just carry through, and it was like totally the case with Hallelujah.
Yeah,
And yeah, the crowd response was great. And there's a big mosh moment in the song, and
yes, I was gonna say.
there's and a few like big kind of like sing along moments. And already like the song had been out 2 days when we played it, and people were like singing the words. I was
Oh,
like,
I
oh my
love that.
God.
That must be insane, like seeing people already singing to it. Like I can't even
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah.
Like listening to it, it sounds like a song that would be really good live. That's why I wanted to ask. So I'm glad it actually is like coming off as well live. And obviously that is one of your only collabs. But if you had to pick someone else to collab with, anyone, who would you want to collab with?
Oh God, that's such a hard question. I mean, the really obvious one is probably like for me, and it's probably like Ollie Sykes from Bring Me the Horizon
Yeah,
because they're such a massive influence on our band.
for sure.
Um, I think like from my point of view as like some of my favorite collabs are almost like artists that you pair together, and when you see it, you think, how's that going to work? Like it seems like a bit of an odd pairing, or you think it's two different, completely different artists, but they make something work together that's just
Yeah.
amazing.
Mhm.
So, I'm always like up for the idea of kind of collaborating with like any other artist, especially can from kind of outside our genre. And I think that's probably something that we might look to do in the future for sure. Like it's something we're thinking about. So yeah, I think that would be really cool. We've done obviously low raise, which was like quite close to us, and then
Mhm.
maybe who knows, we might kind of move out into something a bit different next time.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. It would work too, because again, you do so many different genres, so it would still make sense. And obviously, Ollie Sykes, for like everything he goes on, just sounds good. So
I
that's
mean, yeah, in an alternate reality where he
yeah.
asks, where he's like, "Yeah, let's do it," I'd be like, "Yeah, 100%."
No, let's start manifesting now that it's gonna happen, trust. And
Yeah.
obviously, as we were saying before, you are supporting Mouth Culture tomorrow. Super exciting. Can we expect any
Yeah.
unreleased tracks to be played, or do you have like, are you saving them for like your own headline show?
We're basically playing all of it already. I mean, we played all of it in its entirety at our headline last month, and
Yeah.
we're playing all of it bar one track at well at this point because most of it's out already. So we've got there's a song called Nosferatu which is coming out with the EP, and
Yeah.
we played that. We'll be playing that at the Mouth Culture show.
Yeah, sick. Yeah, I had a listen to the EP and it is very good. I
Thank
really
you.
like it. So I'm excited to see. Hopefully the crowd is good for you guys tomorrow. I'm sure it will be. But do you have any favorite venues you've ever played or a dream venue you'd like to play in the future?
Um, Favorite venue I've ever played. Um, It's not like a particularly like it's not even a venue I'd heard of before we played it, but it's the Engine Rooms in London, and
Yeah.
it's this quite strange venue because it's like it was basically this it's a really kind of tiny sweatbox room, and it's kind of tucked away in the middle of some kind of industrial estate. It's like
Mhm.
you couldn't find it by accident. Do you know what I
Yes.
mean? Like this you'd only be able to find it if you know it's there. And we played there last year. We were supporting a band called Drama Love, and it was in the middle of summer. It was absolutely scorching, and we'd been traveling like all day, so like all night coming in. So we were like, I was on like 3 hours sleep,
Mhm.
but and it was absolutely roasting hot. But it was just such a like I think it just like that heat and just all of that just culminated into just making us just go even more mental
Yeah.
and like so that's definitely like one of my favorite rooms I've played just for kind of the vibe that it had. I mean, in Glasgow I'd probably say Barrowlands
Oh,
overall.
it's
I mean,
got to be, yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah,
love that venue. It's so
yeah,
sick.
yeah, for sure.
I feel like the smaller venues that are just in the middle of nowhere are always the best ones. That's always where the best shows happen, I feel like. So I've never been to that one though. Never been to that one in London. What can we expect from you for the rest of 2026? Have you got any plans you can maybe talk about or just anything you want to achieve this year?
Yeah, so we've definitely obviously we've got the show in Edinburgh um tomorrow. We'll be doing something else in Edinburgh later on in the year, which I
Like,
we've can't not announced just yet, but we're really excited for that. We'll be announcing that shortly after the release of the EP.
yeah,
Um, and then yeah, I think we might be looking at doing some more kind of stuff in Glasgow later on in the year, and just lots of writing. We've kind of not stopped writing, so
yeah,
potentially more music towards the end of the year coming out if we can get it done in time.
yeah. Exciting. Well, it's starting off a big year for you with the EP and Mouth Culture, so sounds like it's going to be even bigger. But those are all the questions. Thank you so much for your time. Hope you have a great time tomorrow at Mouth Culture.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.